Hello, my littles. Welcome to Mammy's Corner, and I'm Mammy. But you already knew that, didn't you? It is time for affirmations. Are you ready to repeat after me and say it out loud? Are you? Okay, let's get going. Ready? First one. I am loved. Oh, you can do it louder than that. Ready? I am loved. You are loved. That's right. Who loves you? God loves you. Who else loves you? Mammy loves you. And don't you forget it. All right, next one. Ready? I am good. Wait a minute. Are you good? We got to say it louder than that. Come on, ready? I am good. Oh, good job. Now for the last one. I am kind. Come on, my littles. You can do better than that. Ready? I am kind. Good job, because you are good and kind, aren't you? Now, before Mimi starts reading a book, I want you to get in your favorite chair, favorite blankie, maybe a favorite cuddle buddy, a favorite pillow, or a favorite person you want to cuddle up next to as Mammy gets ready to read you a Bible story book. Are you ready? Oh, wait. Don't forget to hit that like button. Mammy likes it when you like my videos. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, just like it does when I read you stories. Are you ready? Yeah? Okay, let's get reading. So this is called the Illustrated Bible Storybook. Let's get reading. So this is the first picture. That's Jesus with all the little children. Ah, isn't that nice? And then, of course, I want to share who wrote it and stuff like that, because that's important, because Mammy didn't write this. Today we're going to start a story about Joseph and his brothers. Are you ready? All right. You look at the picture and I'll read the story. Here we go. Long ago, in the faraway Bible country, many people lived in tents. These tents were pitched in the midst of great fields where there was plenty of long green grass. For there were many sheep and cows and goats and donkeys and camels. These animals were always hungry. Every day they nibbled away at the grass and drank the water from the wells and streams. But sometimes the wells and streams dried up. That's because they drank it all, huh? Oh my goodness. Then the ground grew brown and bare. Whenever this happened, the people knew that it was time to move. They folded up their tents and strapped them onto their backs of the camels and donkeys and started off. On and on they traveled until they found fresh fields of grass for their animals to eat and wells filled with water for them to drink. One of the men who lived in those long ago days was named Joseph. Jacob was very rich and very old. He had 12 sons. Sorry, let me start that over because Mammy read it wrong. One of the men who lived in those long ago days was named Jacob. That's it. Jacob was very rich and very old. He had 12 sons. Can you imagine having 12 children running around screaming, "Ah!" No, not Mammy. The 10 oldest sons were kept busy working in the fields, raising wheat, and seeing that their father's sheep and cattle had plenty of grass and grain to eat. But the 2 youngest sons stayed closer to their father's tent. These 2 youngest sons were named Joseph and Benjamin. Now Jacob loved Joseph better than he loved any of his other children. And because he loved him so dearly, he gave him a wonderful coat. It was soft and beautiful, and it was made of cloth of many different colors. Not one of Joseph's brothers had a coat anything like it. When they slept out in the fields, his 10 older brothers had nothing to wear but coarse, hairy goat skins. When they were at home in their tents, they had nothing to put on but long, loose cotton shirts, the cotton shirts which they slipped on over their heads. It made all of them very angry to see their younger brother Joseph walking about in his handsome coat of many colors. They did not like to be reminded that their father loved Joseph best. There were other reasons why the older brothers hated Joseph. They sometimes did wicked and cruel things, and Joseph, who was always good and kind, would not join them. Besides, they did not like the dreams Joseph had. Once, Joseph dreamed that he and his brothers were in the fields binding the wheat into big bundles. These bundles were called sheaves. In Joseph's dream, a very strange thing happened. His sheaf of wheat stood up straight and tall, and his brother's sheaves all lay down flat on the ground. look at that. See, these are flat, and that one's standing up tall. And this is his dream. When Joseph told his brothers this dream, they were very angry. Does this boy think we're going to bow down to him and obey him? They asked one another. Then Joseph had another dream. He dreamed that the sun and the moon and the 11 stars bowed down before him as though he were a great man. When Joseph told this dream to his father and his brothers, Joseph's father thought that the sun and the moon in Joseph's dream meant himself and Joseph's mother. And he thought that the 11 stars meant Joseph's brothers. Jacob wondered how a shepherd boy like Joseph would ever become a great man. But the brothers asked one another, Shall Joseph someday be like a king and rule over us? And after that, they hated him even more than ever. One morning, Joseph started out to find his brothers. They had traveled a long way from home to find fresh fields and watering places for the sheep and cattle. They had been away such a long time that their father Jacob wanted to hear from them. He wished to know if they were well and if they and their sheep and cattle were getting enough to eat. And so he sent Joseph out to find them. Joseph did a very foolish thing. He put on his beautiful coat of many colors. It was not the best kind of a covering for a long walk, but he liked to wear it. When Joseph reached Shechem, the place where he expected to find his brothers, they had moved on to find new fields and wells. Someone told Joseph which way they had gone, and he walked and walked and walked until he found them. The brothers saw Joseph coming. Let us kill him, they said. We can tell our father that a wild beast has killed him. Only anger and hate were in their hearts. They did not care even for their poor father's sorrow. One brother, Reuben, was kinder than the others. He wanted to save Joseph and take him back to his father. But there was only one Reuben, and there were 9 rough, ugly brothers. Oh, no. What's going to happen, my littles? That's not very nice of them, is it? Oh, my goodness. All Reuben could do was to make them promise not to kill Joseph just then. We will put him into a deep hole, they said. It was so deep. It is so deep that he cannot get out. There he can stay until he starves. Reuben agreed. Reuben meant to go back later alone and get Joseph out of the pit. As soon as Joseph came up to their tents, the 9 ugly brothers took hold of him and tore his beautiful coat from him. Then they threw him into a deep pit. After that, they sat down and ate their dinner. As they were eating, a caravan stopped at their well. This caravan was a long line of camels, donkeys, and men and women on their way to a country called Egypt. Let us sell Joseph to them, said one of the brothers. The other brothers thought this was a really good idea. After all, they really didn't want to kill Joseph, and if he were sold to these people, he would be taken a long way off. Then he couldn't bother them anymore by walking about in this grand coat and telling his strange dreams. They ran to the deep hole and pulled out Joseph. Will you buy a slave? They asked the leader of the caravan. The man counted out 20 shiny silver pieces. These he gave to the brothers, who put them into the little bags they always carried inside their belts. Then the man took Joseph, and the caravan started away toward Egypt. After the caravan had left, the cruel brothers killed a little goat and stained Joseph's many-colored coat with its blood. Look at that. Oh, my goodness, that's not nice what they did. Then they went home to their father Jacob. They held up the coat, all torn and bloody. This we found, they said. Is it not Joseph's coat? It is my son's coat, said Jacob. An evil beast hath devoured him. Then Jacob tore his own coat in sorrow and put ashes on his head. No one could comfort him. I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning, he said. And he wept. That means he cried for Joseph. The hard-hearted brothers let their father believe that Joseph had been killed by a wild beast. They let him mourn for his favorite son, but they knew that Joseph was alive and is on the way to a far-off land of Egypt. All right, Mammy's going to stop right there, and then we're going to start next time for Joseph in Egypt, okay? Oh my goodness. Can you believe what those brothers did to poor Joseph? Oh my goodness. And then they told their daddy a lie. Do you lie? Oh, I hope you don't. Because that's not being good and kind. We don't want to lie. We have to be responsible for what we do and what we say. So do not lie. Those guys, they lied. That's not nice. God doesn't like that. So let's not lie, okay? All right. So until next time, we'll come back and we'll talk about Joseph while he was in Egypt, okay? So, who loves you? God loves you. That's right. Who else loves you? Mammy loves you. Shh. But Mammy loves you bestest. Until next time, my littles, be good and be kind, and no lies. Be good and be kind.